Welcome to another episode of Everybody's Got Something. I'm your host, Seth Hoffman. Today on our show we have John Kauppila, Luthier, and Felicia Davis, artist-organizer. Let's get into it. John.
What's up?
How's it going?
Not too bad.
All right,
nice
great.
to see you.
Nice to see you. First off, I want to thank you for all you've done over the years for my instruments, and I'm sure many people's instruments.
Yeah, of course.
And I wonder if you could tell us, how did you get into the world of being a luthier? And first off, for those who don't know, what is a luthier?
A luthier is very simply someone who builds stringed instruments. The root word is lute, right? Once upon a time, it would have been a lute maker, but the vernacular transferred over to violin makers and eventually guitar builders as well.
And you actually did some work on a lute of mine.
On a lute
actually.
of yours,
How
yeah.
about
I've
that?
worked on quite a few lutes.
Yeah.
It happens for sure. People still have lutes.
Yes.
Some people.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Well, that's a special instrument. A lot of history.
To the best of my knowledge, pretty much every string that I believe that a banjo builder would call themselves a luthier.
I think so.
A mandolin, just as kind of on down the line,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And I worked on a bunch of weird stuff for
Yeah.
sure. So I couldn't even really list them all out for you or anything.
What
like
was
that,
can you remember the first instrument you did any sort of repair, even maybe before you were an official luthier?
I think, like most people who are kind of in my position, I started on my own stuff, right? For better or for worse. Not all of that went spectacular. Well, when I was a kid, I was taking all of my instruments apart and trying to put them back together and whatnot.
Can you recall one of the very early ones, like what instrument or?
The first instrument I ever worked on, the first stringed instrument. If we go back even further, I guess. When I was a little kid, I played trumpet, right? And
you did some work on it.
I tried to do some work on my trumpet, and then I played French horn as well. Same thing. And the trumpet's pretty easy to take apart, right? There's only so many pieces. But the French horn, I remember being like 15 or whatever, and I took it all apart. It belonged to the school, right? And my mom was terrified that I wasn't going to be able to get it all back together. And I made it, I think, if I remember correctly.
They didn't charge you later for it, right? And do you remember what you discovered or learned, or what the problem was, or what?
French horns have pretty complicated little moving parts stuff, right? Mine was a strung French horn versus a mechanical one, which honestly I don't even think I know enough to get into that. But long story short, it's a little bit complicated and kind of tough to get back together. But I made it. I did it.
And do you remember feeling like, wow, this is exciting?
Yeah,
this out.
At roughly the same time in my life, I was imagining what I was going to do with my life, and like many 15-year-olds, I didn't really have any ideas, right? I was telling my mom and my school counselors and whatnot that I was going to do a myriad of things that sounded neat, but
do you remember some of those?
I was telling my mom I was going to be a geologist, I think, and I was always passively interested in engineering kind of sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And then of course music, right? I was a trumpet player and a bass player is my main instrument. But I play plenty of guitar too, and I guess I was looking for something to combine engineering and guitar.
Yeah,
and
there you go.
Pretty much the moment I realized that this was something you could do, I I knew, right? It just instantaneous.
And how
bolt of
did you
lightning.
meet someone who was a luthier, or how did you even
You know,
realize this was a possible path?
I grew up in Los Alamos. I didn't really have access to like a big guitar store or something like that. I had literally never even seen. I had never actually, it sounds so stupid to say it out loud, but I had never even realized that this was something you could do, right?
Yeah.
I assumed, like a child, that the guitars came into existence by magic, right? Like, whatever, who cares, right? And the same moment that I realized that someone had to put it together, someone had to build it, someone had to work on it, I started working towards that goal, right? I was 16, I think, when that happened. So.
And did you have was there kind of like a mentor or an inspiration, someone who you saw working on instruments, or you just...
I was literally walking around my house and made the connection, just kind of neurons activated for the first time.
And did it kind of light you up?
Yeah, no, I started moving that. I knew that that's what I was going to do that same moment.
Wow. A moment of clarity.
And, you know, it took me a while to get there, for sure. I went to university here. The lottery scholarship seemed too good to pass up, right, at the time.
Yeah.
But even when I was going to school, I knew that I wasn't really going to do anything with it. So eventually I dropped out and went to Roberto Venn School of Luthier in Arizona and learned how to build guitars.
And what was that, like a all-day kind of thing, or a couple classes here?
Yeah,
or was it like a cohort of people in the program?
It's a trade school, right? So that I do have a trade certification in Luthier, which, I mean, the piece of paper doesn't really mean anything, right? But it's cool. It's college credit, right? It's very official, very kind of real schooling, very similar to going to like plumbing school or machinist.
Do you have that, like,
school,
you know, when you go to like a doctor or lawyer, they have that thing on the wall? Do you?
See, I have the piece of paper in my shop, but it's just kind of tucked off to the side, right? Okay. No one's ever asked to see it, that's for sure.
Are you sure you're official here? I mean, see some papers here.
No, Luthier School is, you know, it was like 8 to 6, Monday through Friday.
Okay, so that's full on.
880 hours, if I remember correctly, which it was only about 6 months.
Okay.
And they teach you how to build acoustic and electric guitars, and then a little bit of the repair stuff kind of off to the side. I didn't really picture myself as a repair guy.
Okay.
I wanted to
So you started just being you wanted to be a maker. Okay.
I wanted to be a guitar builder. But after Luthier School, I was looking into kind of a career, and I was living in Flagstaff at the time, and there's one guitar job in Flagstaff, right? It's a pretty small place, and there's just only so many people that have broken guitars there, I guess.
Yes.
But I happened to graduate from Luthier School right as that one position at the one real guitar shop there was opening up, and so I ended up taking that. I ended up apprenticing at a shop called Custom Sound Instruments in Flagstaff, which was super cool. But it was a repair thing, right? And I really fell in love with it, I guess. There's a puzzle aspect that's not really super present in building, right?
And have you always been kind of someone who, like, a problem solver?
I would say so. My mother would certainly refer to me as mechanically inclined.
Right.
Absolutely. And yeah, no, the technical kind of repair side really spoke to me in a way that I wasn't really expecting.
And what were some of the early repairs that you remember doing?
Well, when you start out, there's a couple of super basics that I think most people end up kind of starting out on, right? The setup stuff and then the bone work, the nuts and saddles are, the kind of fledgling luthier's bread and butter, right? And then a lot of the kind of simple, I guess we'll call it repeatable structural stuff, like the bridge reglues and the headstock fractures and whatnot. The kind of things that you see over and over again in basically the same like presentation, right? And I did mostly that, I guess, for a long time.
And when you were doing that, did you right away say, I dig this, or were you thinking, I do want to get back to this guitar building, or or was this kind of a path that felt right to you?
No, the repair really, kind of caught me off guard, I guess, by how much I really enjoyed doing it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It was a lot of fun. And then the other side of that, I guess, coin is that the repair is just a lot more easy to get into.
Yeah.
It's very, very, very hard financially to just start building guitars, right? Sure. And try and genuinely make money doing that.
Yeah.
The repair is a lot more lucrative.
Yeah.
Certainly per hour, and
probably a lot more people regularly need repairs than I need you to build me another guitar.
Only so many people. My mom bought a guitar for me, right? Like nice. right at the beginning, and you only have so many mothers per se.
Mom, you need another guitar?
Yeah. So I kind of put that on hold, ended up doing the repair thing, and I do still build for sure, and I'd like to get into it more.
Yeah.
But, man, it's been 12 years now since Luthier school, and I guess I've only built 15-ish guitars, something like that.
Yeah.
And when I was there, I was planning on a lot more, that's for sure. But the repair kind of took over, and here we are. It's it's been quite the ride, the whole repair shop thing.
And how long have you had this shop in
9 years now. 9 years in January, so 8 and change years, I guess.
Okay, and I imagine you've met a lot of musicians, and
the market here is kind of thin, right? As I'm sure you're well aware.
Yeah.
In perspective, in Flagstaff, there's like a total of 4 people working on guitars.
Yeah.
And it's about 1/10 the size as like Metro Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Just kind of extrapolating, counting on your fingers. There are absolutely not 40 people in this town working on guitars, right? Closer to, there's probably about 15 once you kind of get through everyone.
Yeah.
And, a lot of those people are, just kind of working in their garage, which is cool.
Yes.
And, that's, I'm not trying to hate on people who are like less established, but as far as like kind of real shops with storefronts and whatnot, there's just not that much.
Yeah. And I know some people with their instruments, it's like, this is like my baby here, and so they're understandably hesitant to just pass it to anybody.
It's hard to. It makes a lot of sense that people are kind of cagey about that, for sure.
Can you think of one of the repair or two over the years that was something that was one of the most satisfying things? Maybe that was either because it meant a lot to the person who you helped, or because it was a something you couldn't figure out and then did.
I was just talking about this a few minutes ago with someone at the shop. Honestly, I think the simple stuff is in many ways the best, right? When people come in with a guitar, the example is the nut slots, right?
And for those who don't know what a nut slot is,
It's kind of hard to describe with that, the
Guitar.
example, right?
Okay.
But at the top of the guitar on
Yeah.
the headstock,
Yeah.
there's the little piece of bone or plastic, but usually bone,
Yeah.
on nicer guitars for sure, that kind of holds the string
Yeah.
in place right when you play it, like the first fret.
Got it.
It's the piece of
It's like when you're stringing the guitar, the little where the
little
the grooves
slots
are.
that you put it in that kind of hold it, and
Yeah.
then above it is the headstock.
Right.
Those slots, the depth of those slots is really, really, really important for the playability of the instrument.
Okay.
If it's even a little bit too high, it's just really, really hard to kind of clamp down
It'll
with your
affect
fingers.
the
right.
action of the guitar.
And if it's a little bit too low, it will kind of buzz and make
Okay.
weird noise and stuff.
Okay.
And because of that second point, I guess a lot of manufacturers, in order to sell guitars better, this is, I don't know, hypothesis of mine, almost a conspiracy theory,
Yeah.
but will deliberately leave these slots really high because they prefer people be able to strum the guitar and have
Yeah.
it make noise rather than
Buzzed.
kind of buzz out and do weird stuff.
Sure.
And so you end up with guitars where it's just really, really hard to
Yeah.
like press down on those first couple frets.
And so
And
that repairing that can solve the
A
problem.
lot of people come in with guitars that they believe are just like impossible to play, right?
Yeah.
Well, this guitar is really hard. It
Sure.
just sucks. It's
Yeah.
not very fun.
Yeah.
And fixing this is really pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah.
You just kind of depth the slots
Yeah.
appropriately, and it took in this particular instance that I'm talking about
Yeah.
10 minutes to completely change this
Yeah.
guy's guitar,
Yeah.
right? And especially a lot of really experienced players will kind of notice
Yeah.
that their nut slots are not quite right.
Yeah.
But
That'd be a good T-shirt. My nut slot's not quite right. So, yeah.
this in this particular case, the customer didn't really quite know better, right? He was
Yeah.
just starting out, and with 10 minutes, I was able to just completely change this guy's guitar playing
Incredible.
experience, right? And that's something that happens quite a lot.
Yeah.
This is a very, very common problem with
Yeah.
kind of low to lower middle end sorts
Yeah.
of guitars, and it makes a big, big, big difference.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, think how many people, because I know a lot of people, if they have that feeling, they just say, oh, guitar's not for me, and they maybe don't continue the musical path. And so with a little bit of help and work from you, you maybe open the door for them to continue that path.
Yeah, and that's kind of this problem that I've been talking about is really engrammatic of like being able to just fix something like really quick like that
Yeah.
and make a big difference
Yeah.
is a good feeling.
Yeah.
Right? Something that really sticks with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You feel like a wizard, right? Like,
Yeah.
oh, you just need to fix this, and then everything's gonna be
You're
fine.
like, thank you. I don't know how.
Exactly.
I
I
mean,
thought my guitar was just terrible, but
Yeah.
it turns out
it just needed you.
this tiny little thing,
Yeah.
right? And then,
Yeah.
so on and so forth. But going like all the way to the far end of that, the projects those are the customers that stick with me, I guess.
Yeah,
But the
yeah.
projects are the big ones,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I do a lot of relatively large scale kind of. You've probably heard the term neck reset.
Yes.
Yes. I guess for those of you at home, a neck reset is when you have to take the neck off of an acoustic guitar and reset it, kind of replace it. Sometimes they get loose, sometimes they kind of, due to the nature of the wood, start pointing in the wrong direction, basically, right? Which is a pretty involved, pretty large-scale woodworking project, right? And it's very satisfying when that goes well, too,
Yes.
right? A couple of pretty expansive, like full restorations instances
It's like
where
surgery.
people,
It's like doing a full surgery.
Yeah. I do like the doctor analogy. Like, I think it works well.
My son, whenever it takes change, said, "We're going to the instrument doctor."
The instrument doctor.
Yeah.
You know, that's the right idea for
Yeah.
sure. I see a lot of sick guitars, I guess. And,
well, I want to personally thank you because the guitar I have that I've been playing since 1999, which it's like a child to me. But I had some work done, and then when I got it back, the electronics weren't working, and I thought I was never going to really be able to gig with it. But you I know it wasn't easy, but you found the problem, and now it's going strong. So I really
that's good to hear.
I'll never forget you for that. No.
I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah.
That was a weird one.
Yeah.
I don't honestly, I'm not sure I could even begin to describe that without
All
the guitar
I
here,
know is you found a problem that no one else could find, and it's working awesome.
The chipboard, I'm not really an electronics guy. I'm sure I said that. And,
but you gave it a try. Like,
I'm a
look.
woodworker at the core, right? And all the peripheral stuff is extremely important, right? Honestly, that's one of my favorite parts about my profession is how you don't really get to just be a woodworker, right?
Yes.
You have to be fairly knowledgeable in the metalworking and the finishing and the electronics and whatnot. And there's always something new every day. You don't have to just sit there and
it's not the same thing.
Cut up bits of wood all day every day.
So before, I want to make sure I ask you, is because I understand there's a transition. You're going to be
yes. Unfortunately,
tell us about your next step and what's happening.
I'm going to be moving to New York here in a couple months.
What's there? What was the?
I'm moving there to be closer to my family. My aunt lives up there, and there's just.
And will you be taking your tools and workshop things there?
Of course. I don't think that I have the wherewithal to kind of start again from scratch as kind of a main career, I guess. So I'm going to be putting it on hold for a while.
Okay.
But once I get established there, I'll definitely be kind of restarting.
What would be if you could kind of see the most ideal, exciting path for you as you're going to New York, as far as whether you end up reopening your shop or working for another, what would be most exciting for you?
I think, and again, I'm still a little kind of preliminary on this. I think that we're going to be going back to the original plan. I'm going to start trying to build a little more seriously.
And will you do this on your own, or will you find someone established to start off with? Or
I'll do it on my own. I'll have a garage or a basement or something out there and kind of get cooking and start working on my own guitars. The guitars that I have built over the last couple of years have all been for other people. Right? Customs for clients. Which is cool, and I guess I don't want to sound like I didn't like doing it or something like that. But it's going to be nice to build my own guitars.
And when are you picturing acoustic, electric?
Mostly acoustic.
Okay.
It's funny, kind of in the same vein as the repair stuff we were talking about earlier. I guess I'm an appreciator of electric guitar music, right? I was envisioning myself building rock and roll electric guitars at the beginning, but the acoustic guitars really are just a lot more interesting to build, right? And I think that the individual building them makes a lot more of a difference, right? So not to hate on all the electric guitar builders out there, but acoustic is.
Do you have one in your mind that you kind of picture something?
Yeah.
You're like, I want to make one with
I've
this
been,
type of wood or this body size.
Kind of working on the philosophy of my guitars for a long time now, and I'm excited to get started.
Can you share a little bit about what that philosophy is?
Oh boy.
In these couple minutes we have left to hear.
Can I? Wow.
You don't have to. It could be maybe.
No, I mean, there's nothing truly, genuinely special, right? I really do like just working with my hands, right? And I try and do as much of it by hand as possible. Some of it is hard to ignore, the just advantage that you get from using the power tools and even using the computerized stuff. I don't do any of the like CNC routing or anything like that in my shop, but it's coming, right? Whether I like it or not.
How does
the
that mean
computerized, like you've seen, I'm sure you've seen like YouTube videos of like the computer routers and stuff. Inlay and stuff like that is just doing that sort of thing by hand is very, very, very challenging and very, very, very time consuming. And when you can, especially if you've got like, I don't know, it takes me a couple hours to make my little headstock inlay, right? And I'm trying to do it pretty much the same every time.
Yes.
Whereas you can plug it into the computer and do it in 45 seconds, right?
So would you say you're more of a purist in that,
in that
way?
It's funny, kind of in the situation I find myself in right now talking about this, but I'm trying to remember the dude's name, but so long ago, there was a guy who did like New England style woodworking on PBS. I'm totally blanking on his name or the name of the program, but one of his more famous episodes was about the kind of continuum nature of being arrogant about woodworking. Right? The craft itself is the important part. And as soon as you start being shitty about like, oh, you use this tool, which means you're not a real woodworker, pretty much invariably you have to accept that there's someone behind you who thinks the same thing about, and I've met guitar builders who like don't use sandpaper and stuff like that, right? Like all bladed tools all the time. Cabinet scrapers are bust. All of you sandpaper losers don't know what you're doing, right? And that's super cool, right? I have to admit that's very interesting that people would do that, right? But in the same breath, looking at that, I don't know why I would bemoan people who choose to use the fancy new computerized tools. The reason I don't use them as much as I do is just because I enjoy the way I like to do it, I guess. And maybe I'll switch one of these days. And
sounds like you're in a
better,
transition geographically and maybe philosophically, but I'll tell you, I'm sure excited to hear about how this next chapter goes, and maybe
I'll let you know.
Yes,
for
and
sure.
if you find yourself back in town, maybe you'll be able to bring one of your creations. And
I will. I still have family out here, so
Okay.
I'll be back to visit for sure, and I'll definitely keep in touch.
Please do. Well, I'm blessed to know you. I appreciate all you've done for me and for so many people out there, and I wish you all the very best on this next chapter.
I appreciate
that.
And
I look forward to hearing how it goes, my friend.
Thank you.
You got it. All right, we are here with Felicia Davis. Thank you so much, Felicia, for being here. Tell us a little bit about about being an artist, an organizer. I see you have some exciting cards and book. Tell us a little bit first just about yourself. and what you do, what
Well,
you love to do.
All right. I am a chatterbox, so I will be definitely talking nonstop with you guys
Great.
about. I have a whole list of items. I guess let's start off with. So I am an artist in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Primarily recycled art is my main thing. I'm definitely, anytime I can take something that might go into the landfill and turn that into art, that's going to be my starting point. But I get pulled in. People always go like, what is the, you're over here, you're over there, you're not doing this. I'm like, I am really good at taking what is the no money that we all have as artists and using a budget of nothing to create what we're trying to do. Wow. So I get pulled in on a lot of, oh, now you're this. It's because there's no money to do it. Yes. And I can help these people figure out how to do it with no money. I'm great at like, come on, community, let's all pull together to make it happen.
And have you always been an organizer, bringing together of people? Has that been something you've always had?
Well, accidentally, probably, yeah. Like, even with some of the projects I'm working on, it wasn't like I wasn't supposed to be really the organizing person, and then it kind of ended up being that way. You know, like for one of the films that we're doing, Star Babes, I was really the prop person and the costumer, and I was just their builder. And then it turned out that I was then going to be the assistant director, and then all of a sudden when the movie comes out, they're like, director, and
wow.
I'm like, no, that's not actually
you got
really
a promotion
it.
Okay.
But yeah, like, so, you know, sometimes it kind of just happens that way. But yeah, so that's how that all goes.
And what is that? Is that film out? Or
yeah, so let's talk about that, because what is really awesome is we're in Studio 518, and I can't say enough awesome things about Studio 519 because, well, we're here now, and they are pretty much just the coolest thing in Albuquerque if you want to get involved with film, podcasts, any of that. For sure. So I don't know enough about it, but I believe we're kind of city funded here, and you can come in here and use this. There's a green screen option here if you've never worked with a green screen. There's tons of podcasting stuff. You're doing your show from here. We're doing the Star Babes, some of the stuff from here. But what's really cool is you can take equipment offsite from here. And so for some of our offsite, we get sound equipment and film equipment. And you're learning how to use that, because not only are you getting the studio, you're getting the awesome staff.
I know, it's
and
incredible.
Mark comes with it, and it is like, oh my gosh, how cool for us who don't know what we're doing.
I know.
To get to come here and have access. It's all free. You have to provide content. That is the exchange program that you're making with 519. So love 519. And so we're working with the Star Babes. That is, you can find it on YouTube, just like yours, and then eventually on public access on the channel here. And that is, the original movie is the Star Babes versus the Oracles of Uranus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds very cool.
Yeah, so
we'll,
ready.
We'll any links we have, we'll put in the video description so people can find that.
Awesome. Cool. So we'll link up to the Star Babes, and then eventually, right now, we're currently filming episodes. And again, because we're learning, instead of doing it like one episode at a time, we're kind of doing it as a 3-episode. And some of them are filmed here in the studio, and some of them are out. So what we won't have is content until all the scenes for all 3 of those episodes are filmed. And then we can edit them, and boom.
Got it.
So that's coming up. So.
Exciting,
yeah.
exciting.
And that's a project of Brian McKenzie, but on all the different YouTube and Instagram and stuff, you can find the Star Babes. That's a bunch of locals. Traditionally, although we did have a neat visitor from New York City that joined the cast. So we're not exclusively New Mexicans anymore. We just branched out too.
Well, that's very New Mexican to be inclusive.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Star Babe, Studio 519. So recently I was working with Expressions Gallery. And that was kind of when I ran into you, and I was like, oh yeah, sure, I'll come on your show to promote that. Expressions Gallery is down in Old Town. not Old Town, apparently, because if you're on Rio Grande and you're not right in the square proper,
then you're not officially.
You're not officially in Old Town because you have to cross at the crosswalk. But so not officially in Old Town.
Well, it's good
but
to know that. See, I didn't know that. Now we know the technicalities.
Yeah, we are trying to make it more of what. So that's one of the battles that they're doing is getting a crosswalk over to expression.
You could have some like piece of string or something that's connected. I'm like, well, this is technically part of us because we're connected.
It is totally part of Old Town.
Yeah.
It is. It's just like all you got to do is just walk right across the street. So hopefully Old Town will accept expressions into their community and maybe get a crosswalk in because that would make a really big difference for what they're doing there. And it's Tammy and Anthony Chino. They had a salon called Tammy's Edge right there on Rio Grande by the Walgreens for 14 years.
Wow.
And musicians like you, singer-songwriters coming in, performing there, lots of burlesque and dance shows and belly dance and art on the walls, sound baths, crystal bowl healing, all of that, tarot reading, Turkish coffee readings. It's a really cool little situation that they've been doing. They just got the space next door. So they called me on April 1st, which was kind of a weird day to call someone to be like, I want you to do something for me. I was like, okay. Yeah. So I agreed to do what was 3 months of their art curating. So that kind of started in April. So they got the keys on April Fools, and we did our first show the last Friday of April. So again, community, awesome, lots of really great artists from our community that I've been friends with were awesome enough to be like, I'm going to allow this small gallery to show my stuff. Yeah. I mean, that's a huge thing. You get people that are like, you know, the art, I'm not going to get into like every different thing about like the way art is structured, but I always kind of tell people, if you don't know anything about art curation or any of that business, like just imagine that we're in a car right now. Okay. What kind of car? You pick.
Porsche.
Okay, so we're in a Porsche. Well, that makes it even more interesting. Okay, so you and I are going, and then we see a friend, and we're like, oh my gosh, come on, get in. Oh yeah, so she gets in the Porsche. Well, hopefully it's not a two-seater, right?
Or maybe hopefully it is.
Maybe it's like a station wagon Porsche,
right? One of those
okay,
new,
so we've got a big Porsche, right?
Big
All right.
Porsche. I like it.
But okay, so she's in now, and then we're cruising along, and we see another friend, and they've got a dog.
Oh.
All right.
Yes.
We got room. The dog can be in the back. Now we've all heading on our way. Oh my gosh, there's Frank. We love Frank. Frank. Oh, well, you could just lay across everybody's lap in the back.
I got to go on a road trip with you.
We're eventually running out of room.
Right.
Which is the way every art gallery's walls are.
Okay.
There's only so much space.
It's like
There's
precious real estate.
so much room.
Yeah,
and if I want to let you get in, I have to throw someone out of the car.
Got it.
So when it comes to earning your wall space, you get this much space. That's what you get. And you may be putting in tiny ones or big ones, but that's yours. And you've earned it, because if not, you're not in the car anymore.
Yeah.
So that is really the way the art community is structured here in New Mexico. And it's for a reason.
Yeah.
Because just like the car and the gallery, you've got a home. And it's not growing any more walls unless you plan to do an extension. Yeah. So when it comes to art buying, we may all want to buy art, but despite the fact that art is like not rent and not your utilities, and you don't prioritize it like you would food and those things, it's a luxury item. But you also don't have the luxury of taking down that one piece that you've had forever because you want to buy more art. So mostly art starts to become something for people who have multiple homes, or have an office now, or they're going to open a restaurant. So art is it's a small car, and we all want to fit in, and there's so many really cool art ideas and a lot of people contributing to it, but there is room. There is room for everyone in the car, and if you aren't getting into those galleries in Santa Fe because they can't let you in the car.
Yeah.
Then there's art markets, and there's lots of really neat, we're thriving with cool art opportunities to do. It is hard though, as an art market person.
Yeah.
Now you have to load up all of your stuff. Okay, well, you have to make stuff. You have to be constantly making stuff so that you're always having enough product for that fair. You have to have affordable stuff. So it's a hard thing, you know, and you have to, to be part of the art market thing, you're always paying a booth fee.
Yeah.
Okay, just like if you're in a gallery, you're paying a percentage.
Sure.
So at Expressions, we started off at 30%.
For the gallery or for the
gallery.
Okay.
And that's because it's a new gallery. So something like Gallery 208, Gallery 516, right across the street from here, these people have been around for a while. So what they have is MailChimp, customers, clients, art purchasers that they bring to the table, right? And so Expressions being new, it's a new space. What they're not bringing is 20 years of art purchasers.
Sure.
So if I get you to come show your art there, it really falls on the artists themselves.
Okay, so you're saying this, it's like the artists are bringing the people, where some of these other galleries, they're
The
providing
galleries
as much
should
of
be
the
doing
service.
that. And they should be providing emails and lots of promotion of your show to people they know like to buy that sort of thing.
So it's more than just the privilege hanging on the wall. They provide a full service.
Whereas like a restaurant is going to take 40, 30, or 50%. You know, if the restaurant's good, they're providing customers of all different varieties, and they're doing it all month long.
Got it.
So they're giving you purchasers right there.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people don't go into a restaurant and like buy art off the wall, but if you sit down and see something that's really changing your life, they're going to make sales.
Sure, and I imagine artists want to get their art in front of people's eyes to at least, you know, have the chance of it getting out in the world.
Chance of it getting out. And hey, if you don't make a sale, what you did learn, how to write your own bio, how to promote yourself, how to stand there and represent your art. When I did my first art show, I did it at Strange Flock, which was a new gallery that nobody knew about, that was in this upstairs area that basically there would be no way you'd know it was there if I didn't sit outside. Sit outside in a chair and be like, hi, stranger on the street. Come in and look at the art. Did you know this is an art gallery? And so the amount of work that artists need to do, when we sold pieces for Expressions, I told artists, don't even rely on Facebook anymore. When we were coming up, it was a great way to promote Seth playing next Thursday. That shit's so lost in the algorithm. Okay, I cuss, but so it's lost in the algorithm now. The key is messaging personally, texting, hey, come out to the art show. And what I found is most of the art sales at this point of Expressions life are coming from artists saying, come. Now,
so that personal,
that is
so
going
it's
to
kind of
pivot.
like we've gone full circle. Like back in the day it was personal, then it was this, and social media. Now we're back to that kind of.
We're more into personal. But again, there's a pivoting point. Since Expressions is new, I just want to pull up their calendar because there's a lot of neat stuff, and I have to do everything by having notes. So the deal is Expressions is starting off with getting a lot of really cool curriculum. They're doing belly dance classes. They're looking for open mic people and music. And what's really cool is it's a sober environment.
Okay.
So that doesn't mean you can't have a glass of wine across the street. You cannot drink on the property.
Got it.
They want a safe space for everyone, and that's kind of a neat thing because, you know, there's a lot of places you can drink, but I think people need to feel like they have a social space where they can go out and have just as much fun and not drink.
That's right. I like that.
Okay, so let's see. I'm just going to, you can go to the Expressions
and we'll post this link.
Site,
we'll
the link to it. But what we've got like coming up is art exhibit, open mic art celebration, drumming and ceremony. Then we got somatic healing, acu detox, somatic healing tools, receive frequencies and sound bath healing with the Chinos. UFO Cafe, Belly Dance Hafla, indie music in Old Town. So this is definitely mastering meditation. They do a lot of stuff.
This sounds like quite a community. It sounds like more than just a space. It's like quite a center of culture.
And they don't just do it out of that business. They do retreats, couples. Oh my gosh, like really neat. Come out to Chaco Canyon, really get that sound bath healing and more of a ceremony, in touch with ceremony, you know? So with a it's non-religion specific.
Yeah.
It's okay to be not choosing a denomination and yet still want to reconnect with ceremonial practices. And I just really love the Chinos. I think they're a great space for that, you know.
Great.
So
Beautiful.
if you know anyone wanting to do an open mic or any of that, this is so they've got 2 different spaces, right? Because they had the original spot, the salon, which is large. It is twice the size of the space we're in here.
Twice the size of this.
Yeah,
Wow.
okay, but it's a salon. So they've got their chairs, but those things are all mobile.
Yeah.
So that becomes like Crystal Bowl.
Wow.
They do them like anyone can come for the public on Thursday, but you can rent it to where you bring your whole family in, or just you and your besties, and you're gonna you get the hammocks. It's just you guys. You get it for the whatever couple hours, and they do the sound bath for just your group. Way cool, you know. So I'm gonna let you guys find expressions on your own. Move on from them. Let's see. Soon I have coming up. Well, we started this tarot deck. This is kind of a passion project, and I will send a link up, but these are what they kind of look like. This was my main partner in it, Scarletta. So what I did was photography, and I worked with 5 photographers.
I didn't realize.
This deck.
Wow.
So it's the Heart of Enchantment Tarot, and these are my main 2 partners, Scarletta and Julian Wolf. This was Art Nueva. So Les Peterson did the bulk of the photography on this, but I did have like a drone photographer or this photographer. So it was a team of 5 photographers that worked with me.
Wow.
If there's a throne, I built the throne. If there's a crown, I made the crown. So because I'm like a wood and metal and costume, like leather, all that stuff. So kind of seeing this one. So there's like a mandala there. I painted that.
I can hold it up if people can see.
Yeah. And these 2 are actually married, and she's one of the star babes, so there's a lot of crossover here. But so these people were pulled from the Society for Creative Anachronism, which is kind of a reenactment group. Yeah. And they were going to be a natural great choice for kings and queens because they have a bunch of stellar wardrobe. Yeah. So I did do some of that. You know, like this, I built this archway. This is Kaylin, Dustin Brown's Automotive. There's some nudity in it, so just be mindful that there will be some nudity. This is an example of why I used other photographers. So this is edited. So we had a photographer, John Gilbert, for any of the things like this. I would actually have to take a picture of the person and then this arm holding this, and this arm holding this, and this arm holding this, and send it to him so that he could do that. Wow. So he would send me that photograph of it edited, but Scarletta went and took the entire deck and was like, I'm gonna make them more cohesive so that there's a cohesion of all of it, right? 78 cards in the deck, tons of community volunteer, tons, 78. That's more than 78 people. Some of these have, look at here, this was taken from a drone. This is the world.
Beautiful.
So when you see this one blown up, you have 3 children in the center, right? And then all these different women, and it's about like, not just who you are, but possessions, all of it. It's all included. So this is just got all their stuff, and this was taken from a drone.
Incredible.
And of course,
can we hold it up? So
the sun came out and really made this an editing nightmare because like there's shadows from the trees and stuff, and it was this perfect day. But there's no way we were gonna get this group all together again. So
it looks
some of
gorgeous.
that kind of stuff. Yeah, but so I highly suggest that you check out the Heart of Enchantment Tarot. Right now, there's a big pull from Etsy. They're doing some stuff that kind of artists are moving away from that. So I'd like to discourage you from going to my Etsy, which I need to go ahead and take down. We will have a show coming up at Fusion. So if you want to check out the large canvases and meet some of the people that were involved in the deck and really get the hands-on experience of myself and the photographer and the editors.
Definitely give me any of those dates and links, and we'll post
So
those.
Fusion is where we're going to be doing that in November, and they're so cool. So Fusion. Oh, and before I put this up, Heart of Enchantment book was written by Julian Adams Wolfe, Divination. This is kind of a cheap book. It's really tiny. You got to have your glasses out to read it. Someday we'll be able to afford like a big book, but right now that's where it's at. But so that's kind of my full team was Julian, Scarletta, and Les.
Beautiful.
And we will be at the Fusion. So Fusion, are you familiar with Fusion?
I think they have like a performance. Is that the place that has like,
Multiple performance.
Yeah.
So it's like the Cell Theater. It's right there on the railway.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And it's also kind of, what's really cool is not only are they, tons of theater groups there and art shows there and indoor and outdoor stages and vending and blah, 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 blah. They are really good at allowing the city people to do their meetings there for the rail trail. So there's going to be a rail trail that connects downtown Old Town, the Sawmill, and the Bosque.
What exactly is a rail trail?
It is like they're extending the Bosque Trail to connect.
Okay.
So that
so you get actual
you and
trail,
the kid,
anyone
you
can
and your
walk
little,
in?
you and your little hopper can just go cruising with your little hot wife and get a little dinner and go on down to this theater.
Wow.
And so they're really trying to make Albuquerque a little bit more connected for pedestrians and cyclists because we have a lot of, we're one of the only cities probably that I can think of that has as an extensive a trail system. I can get almost anywhere in Albuquerque on a bicycle and almost not have to leave the trail or this trail connects to this trail. So way to go. Our city doesn't do everything right, but I think that's kind of cool.
That is a definite bonus for sure.
Good job on that one.
Go Albuquerque.
Before I do want to talk about some of the things that the city of Albuquerque is needing to bump up. So we just lost the soup kitchens. Project Share's down. So in addition to being an art kind of person, I'm really right now putting my best foot forward to get with Albuquerque FaithWorks, which do not go to the Albuquerque FaithWorks website unless you're gonna keep going back to it, because right now it's under like revision.
Gotcha.
This is the city of Albuquerque working with churches from all denominations, and they are really trying to kind of figure out what's gonna go on future-wise for the homeless. What we have is tons of churches with certified awesome kitchens, and they're just nowhere near where the homeless problem is, But currently, the shelters are not having nourishment or blankets, like not having blankets. I recently had a friend go into the shelter, and I'd love to post a link to his interview on what happened at the shelter. That's Jerry Trudell. I'll post a link to that. And it was just no blankets. Okay, so I now have a car full of blankets, and I'm leaving here to go get more blankets because, believe it or not, Facebook is okay to be still getting some of your friends to pull together. And I'm always collecting blankets, usually on a smaller scale, just to keep in my car. I always tell people, if you want to help the homeless, walk right up to them. You don't have to donate through a program. You can walk right up to a person with a toothbrush and toothpaste or a shower kit or whatever it is. You know, obviously socks, never a problem. Socks
especially
are
as it's getting
year-round.
colder.
Awesome. Roll bags, backpacks, any of that stuff, are pretty handy. Right now for blankets, I'm trying to figure out how to get blankets into the shelter. Well, what if they don't have washing machines? They don't have a washing machine out there. They have 4 dryers, I think only 2 of which are working, and a dryer's not enough. I mean, that will keep bed bugs, I think,
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what good a dryer does, but I mean, if you had nothing, being able to sterilize your something by drying it.
Sure.
But so here's the thing. Okay, so I'm talking to the people from some of these organizations, and it's like, well, there's no adult diapers. Okay, well, when I'm going to try to figure it out, there's like all these hospices, right? So hospice, if you don't know, is probably the worst thing ever, because hospice, if you find out when you're dealing with that, the hospice means death. Hospice is the last step. Yeah. So most people going into hospice, these supplies, they die. Yeah. And then where do those diapers go? Yeah. Well, I hate to say it, but not HME or Premier, local companies, there are making money off of your hospice. None of them give a shit. They don't. I will call them out, HME and Premier. I got on the phone with them today, and they were not willing to put me in touch with their director. I can't set up to where they tell people donate your diapers, but they end up in the landfill, right? And donate them where? Yeah. To a church? Yeah. Fuck that. Yeah. Like, can't you just tell them to donate them to this church? Can't I just give you a pre-stated statement? Yeah. These are the people that will collect that. Can't you just give them that information? These people make tons of money off of death, and they are not willing to do anything with the byproducts of it. So I would love for someone to come in and be a cooler company. Yes. Buy out HME if you have lots of money and you don't know what to do to be a cool person and you're just dying to be helpful. And let's turn that business into something that is constantly working. Because, I mean, it's a tax write-off. Yeah. Hey, Home Depot, it's a tax write-off to donate a washing machine. Yeah. Except for, will the shelter receive that washing machine? Yeah. Here's where we're at. It's like, we need to be making progress, but it takes people like me. I have a job. I clean houses, guys. I clean houses Monday through Friday. That's what I do when I'm not doing art and working in film and doing all these other things. And it takes time after you've paid your rent by doing your crappy job to care about what's going on in the city. Yes. And, you know, to track down the owner of HME, I'd love for them to just reach out to me and be like, oh my gosh.
Maybe they'll watch this episode.
Somebody randomly knows me and sent me the YouTube link to you yelling about me on
YouTube. Well, one thing I want to say, and one of the reasons I was so excited to have you is, as long as I've known you, I've just been so amazed with the energy that you have, and you're just always doing things that not you're just doing, but you're excited about it. Yeah. And that is a rare thing these days, for one, to be involved in so many things and have a passion and to care about it and to be actually truly excited about what you're doing. And, you know, just on top, you're like a little side note, you have a full, job you're doing on top of all these things. Right. I wonder in these last couple of minutes, you could just speak on that. Is that something you were born with that? Did someone inspire you? What fuels that? We have just the last couple of minutes, but I don't know if you could just comment on what drives and fuels you.
You know, it's hard when we are struggling so much to make it in this world to stop being an individual, because your individual is like, what does my individual need? Oh, I need a snack. I need sleep. I need a shelter, you know? And to go as a whole, we only advance as our slowest person, right? We don't get anywhere if we're dragging along someone who doesn't want to get there. Yeah. And we're really learning that with our current administration. Because here in New Mexico, we're in this utopian paradise where we all kind of like each other and we smile and we know our neighbors a little more than some other places. So we're a little more community driven. We love to group up and organize and do stuff. There's tons of people here that are working toward making New Mexico more awesome, you know, and those little things, just taking a moment off of your individual and just, it's a team. And even the people who don't agree with me, and who are actively pulling me back into the 50s and trying to take my right to vote and that sort of stuff, they're with me on the journey, and the boat only goes as fast. So while I know you're going to rush me out, so I'm going to be able to post some links just to some cool New Mexico things. Cool New Mexico things, if you are a student struggling, you want to have tools, but you can't afford them. It may have changed, but QLab and Fuse are great resources. QLab just got a new building. All the tools, all the 3D printers, you'll get tool knowledge, and you can pay $40 a month to be a member there. And after you've gotten your tool safety, you don't always have to be a member. You can just pay the $10 for a hack night. Come in, use all the tools. QLab and Fuse. Let's see. Keep an eye on the FaithWorks website. We're going to be needing your donations. If you want to personally be a cook in a kitchen or driving people's burritos across town or going to Smith's and getting the food that I'm going to talk them into doing a tax-free donation, you can be my driver. You can be my helper. So hit me up. I'm always looking for volunteers.
And we'll have your emails at the best way, or phone number. What's the best way?
Email or phone number.
Okay, so we'll post that.
Anywhere. Like if you send me even a Facebook Messenger, it comes right to my phone because I do a lot of organizing. If you have hoodies to donate, the Albuquerque Press Club, a local bar, is collecting sweatshirts for the homeless. They've just started that. If you're upset about what's going on with all this stuff and you want to support Jewish Voices for Peace, the Southwest Coalition for Palestine, they're not doing a lot of fundraising, but they are doing a lot of action here. Look at their sites, follow them. That's probably, and as New Mexicans, this is my final one, showing up for racial justice, SURJ, has now got an honor your native land tax. So this is a great way to remind ourselves that we are on native land, and there's a lot of ways to be supportive of those different groups. And it's all POC. It's all POC. There's a lot of different ways that you can support them, but these guys they have a really great program. I highly suggest you look it up. I never got to this, but this is my new comic book, LED. By Larry Wells.
Oh, beautiful.
Go to Cherry Comics and you'll see more about that.
All right. Well, we are going to have links to all these things so people can follow up on what you've been telling us. But thank you for this, and I will hope you will come back again to hear more about what you're working on. But you are a blessing to so many people and so many communities, and your energy is so inspiring, and I know it does so much for so many people. So thank you for just this moment, and it's an honor to know you, and bless you and everything you do.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me. And thanks, 519.
All right, this is Felicia Davis, and it's been great to be with you.